Hello, welcome to another episode of We the People Are the Boss, where we ask you to do hard things to make a brighter future. Today, we're going to talk about the billionaire myth. Wait, there's a myth, you say? Yes, there's definitely a myth. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how billionaires don't create the magnificent wealth of our society, but our society creates the wealth. We're going to talk about how we over reward our business leaders. We're going to talk about the negative impacts of having an ultra wealthy, ultra elite element to our society. And we're going to talk about a solution, what we call the sweet spot, and how we can reach it. The billionaire myth. What is the myth? The myth is this: billionaires don't create society's incredible wealth. It's actually our incredible society that creates billionaires. Billionaires reap far too much of the rewards of what our society broadly, meaning everything that makes up America, which is a massive wealth creation engine, generates. Billionaires reap way too much of that. What is that system? Let's talk about it. Billionaires are a small little layer in it. They're nice, meaning our business leaders in general. They're a small little layer in it. But there are so many innumerable things that we have developed effectively over the last many, many decades that create wealth on a scale the world has never seen. America is the wealth creation engine that the world envies like no other. If tomorrow the top 50 wealthiest people in America had an epiphany, moved to Tibet and became Buddhist monks, gave away all they had, in short order, we'd still have a bunch of new billionaires. Why? Because the American system, the way it's created and structured, we'll talk about many of those in future episodes, but the way it's structured, most of the benefit of our wealth creation goes to our business leaders, the ultra wealthy, or those that already have money. Problematically, that system is structured in a way that benefits the few and not the many. We can't continue this way. So let's take a quick look at that broader system, what it is that really generates incredible wealth. It is the combination of all of the amazing elements of our economic system. I'm going to mention several just to kind of give you a sense of the range of things we're talking about, but there's many. We have a list that I'm linking to below that we'll talk about, 50 or so, and that's not even a complete list. There's more than that. But let's give you just a quick example. So for example, a diverse and skilled labor pool, immigration of global talent. People want to work here. Reliable freight and logistics infrastructure. We have a really good one here. Protected property rights. A large domestic consumer market. A lot of people willing to spend, makes for a great place to build a business. And another one, a good example, our stable currency. The global reserve status of it is unique. We are essentially the global reserve currency, and that gives us a lot of benefits. These are just a few. Go look at the link below, see the many, many more. And our business leaders are one additional layer in that big list of things that make the American economy hum and generate wealth like no other. Here's the problem, though. While business leaders become one small piece in that overall layer of many, many, many tiered things that drive our economy, what has happened in our society is we have created a system where they get all of the benefit. If you look over the last 50 years, the wealth that has gone to the upper class is all of it. We in the middle class have gotten none. We're still really well off. We should be grateful. We're really blessed if you're in America. Let's be real. But we've over rewarded our business leaders and the ultra wealthy to an extent that really is our fault. We as a people have let this great system's wealth get away from us. Right now, more and more of the policies that drive what makes our country work and how it functions are being controlled to an increasing extent by the ultra wealthy. That's not healthy. Our power is being diluted while the wealthy's power is ever increasing. Let's talk about a couple of them. So for example, the ability to influence elections when you're ultra wealthy is massive. Elon Musk, I've shared this in some other shorts, $300 million that he contributed to help get Donald Trump elected. By the way, that's not just a Republican thing. It's Democrats as well. Many billionaires contributing massive amounts of money on the billionaire side. Here's a list of donors at the top. These numbers are ridiculous. And again, it's not Republicans alone, not Democrats alone. It's both. Both parties in the last presidential election received massive amounts of money from the ultra wealthy trying to influence that election. The potential for abuse and the potential for a few to affect elections in that way is not healthy for a democracy. Not in any way. We cannot have that. Another way is when billionaires have that much money at their disposal, they're able to buy up the ways in which we get our information. So our news and media is now increasingly controlled and influenced by the ultra wealthy. You probably know who I'm thinking of. Another thing that's happening is that through lobbying, donations, and asking for little political favors, the wealthy are increasingly getting little benefit after little benefit after little benefit. That means the best way to make money is to already have money. That's very un-American. That sounds like royalty of the Middle Ages or of a Europe of a long distant past. That's not the way we should be making money. And the last one that I'm going to mention, not the only one, but the last one that I'll mention, is a dramatic increase in the cost of many assets. Why? Because the wealthy can spend more on them. They drive up demand. And because demand is increased, prices go up. That's just the way economics work. Big one, think of your home price. That increase, while not the only thing, and I'm not suggesting that it is, largely influenced by a lot of money in the hands of the wealthy and how that impacts real estate prices. So these are just a few ways that incredible wealth in the hands of the few harms we the people. So we're proposing the sweet spot. It's a solution. The sweet spot is the right point to reward our business leaders. The right point to make sure that they do enough, that our businesses are humming, they're generating money, they're building wealth, they're operating efficiently, and they're serving the consumers of America really well. But we're not over rewarding them. Let's look at a chart to show you how this plays out. In this chart, you're going to see that the vertical axis is the incentive for entrepreneurs and investors to take risks and build businesses. On the horizontal axis, this is how much reward we give them in return for those services. When we give higher rewards, they're motivated to build businesses. But you can go too far. At some point, the rewards don't increase the business building. We're just giving away more financial reward, but not getting anything in return. How does this play out? If we are to the left of the sweet spot, we're not rewarding business leaders sufficiently. They're not optimizing how effectively we grow businesses. But if we're to the right, we're giving away all that nice financial growth for nothing, for no benefit to society. We put in place policies and structures that over-reward them. And let's say this. Currently, we are way too far to the right, meaning we're too far to the right of the sweet spot. We're over-rewarding our leaders to an extent that's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. We don't need to give this much and still get the benefit of having great business leaders. Startup founders and VCs get way too many benefits of new industries. Most of the wealth is going to those who get in early as owners, not as employees, not as society broadly, but as owners. You can't even access that, by the way. You kind of know this. Access to early stage, big opportunity industries is a realm only available to the ultra wealthy and those who start businesses, those who are willing to take risks. That shouldn't be the case. Do we want to motivate them? Yes, we want to motivate them to the level that they will take that risk, but not over-motivate. In the same fashion, we're way overcompensating our CEOs. Too much of the profits of corporations are going to the C-suite executives in those corporations. We don't need to do that. They would do the things that they do to be great business leaders without getting as much as they're currently getting. It's just a plain fact. Look back to where we were 50 years ago. Executives were just as motivated to do fantastic jobs running their businesses, but they were rewarded at a far less significant rate. Here's where determination and discipline is needed by we the people. because the people that can change this are our legislators. They have very little incentive to change this system. Why? The big donors are what get them elected. They don't want to go against and tell those donors that they're going to reduce how much they're rewarded for their wealth. So we have to be so strongly committed to this that our legislators know they will not be reelected if they don't support reducing the wealth inequality in America. It's hard. Our legislators don't want to do that. We get caught up in the culture wars, and I know many of you are deeply passionate about one side or the other of this. But we can't let that division stop us from being united about wealth distribution and the inequality that is existing in America. If we do not unite on this, the wealthy will continue to increase their influence, their policies, their wants, their needs, what they feel that they'd like to see America go towards is going to be what's going to happen, not the will of we the people. We have to unite on this. I want to say one more thing on this, because you may have gotten the wrong impression. Our business leaders are not the enemy, not in any way, shape, or form. They're good people. They're just like everybody else. They want more. No matter where you are, you always want more. They're not bad people, but the problem is we're over-rewarding them. And that's where we have to make change. If we can make that change, we're going to put more power back in the hands of we the people. We'll be discussing the sweet spot more in future episodes and where we think it should lie. By the way, we're talking somewhere between probably 100 million and $1 billion. And at that point, we do something dramatic. We start taxing your total wealth at 5% every year. Why? Because you don't need that much money. We don't need to reward you that much. And if you're able to get a better than 5% return on your money by being a fantastic business leader, wonderful. You're going to benefit America enough that your wealth creation is worth all that you get above that. And there are business leaders that can achieve that. So now, we challenge you to share this and commit yourself to saying you're going to be a part of making sure that we do a better job in making sure the wealth that this nation creates goes into the hands of the average American. And as always, a parting thought. Remember, in the USofA, you are the boss.